Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. Baseball's All-Star Game is tonight, Tony. Have you ever made any All-Star teams?
I'm Tony Kornheiser. Street and Smith's 10 Sexiest Sports Writers, 1978. I got a copy of it behind me on the bookcase.
Wow.
Yeah.
You beat out Bob Ryan? Is that the case, huh?
I think I beat out Ryan. Pretty sure I beat out Lupica. Pretty sure.
I'm not getting into that
You
one.
could look it up.
I'm not going anywhere
Welcome
near
PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, Nick Saban's football future, criticism of Jalen Hurts, and Mark DeRosa joins us to talk baseball for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with big dumper Cal Raleigh winning the home run derby last night, becoming the first catcher to ever do so. Raleigh is now the 4th player to win the home run derby while leading the majors in home runs to that point, joining Ken Griffey Jr. and Mark McGwire, who did it in the 90s, and Aaron Judge, who did it in 2017. Wilbon, how high in the star rankings can you see Raleigh ascending?
Well, Tony, if you're going to ascend high in star rankings, it means to me more than one season. Look, he's the odds-on favorite to be the MVP. And I know Aaron Judge is like, let's not count out Aaron Judge with the season he's having.
Right.
But it means you got, even as a catcher, and we're paying special attention because, my goodness, this guy's having a hell of a year for anybody and double for a catcher. But Mike Piazza's a guy who had 5, 6 or more great seasons. I'm not even about to start mentioning the likes of Johnny Bench, and if we go back in time, Berra and Campanella. I'm just not prepared to do that. But in today's star-making turn, where the marketing people will make a star out of anybody who's had 3 great weeks, then Dumper is already a star by today's standards. But if he's going to be the MVP and then can sustain this, you know, and like, I don't care, as I said 2 days in a row, I don't care about, you know, home run derby. Tony, I just want all the All-Star games to get off the stage so that we can resume with the parts of the season that matter. And now we are in the second half of the season in both leagues. There's some intriguing races going on. You've got Raleigh having this terrific season. But star to me means more than one season. To me, old-fashioned as I am.
Yeah. So I would just start by saying what a warm moment it must have been last night when Cal Raleigh is up there swinging and his dad is throwing the pitches and his younger brother is catching behind him. I remember when Bryce Harper's dad was throwing the pitches to Bryce Harper when he was on the Nationals and he won the home run derby. And what a fortunate thing for Raleigh yesterday that the longest home run he hit in the first contest was got him into the second contest, was 1 inch longer than the Oakland player, right? Let me get Oakland's player's name, Brent Rooker. 1 inch longer. Okay, how high can he go? Catcher is a problem. It's not a glamour position, though 2 guys you mentioned, Johnny Bench and Mike Piazza, were fairly glamorous. He's the best defensive catcher in all of baseball, and I think that matters. He's got a great nickname. Big Dumper is a great nickname. He's a switch hitter. Legendary players have been switch hitters. And Mike, by August 1st, it's very possible he will have, certainly not August 1st, September 1st, he'll have more home runs than any catcher ever had. What is the negative here? One of the negatives is he plays in Seattle, which is off the grid, though that never hurt Ken Griffey Jr. The big negative to me is that he's in the era of Ohtani and Judge, who are tremendously glamorous players in large cities who look like all-timers. So what would happen with Raleigh, even if he has a great year, is somebody's going to say, do it again. Do it again. Prove it's not a fluke. Because these other guys have done it again. And these other guys
Judge
have been in the World Series, and that
done
matters.
It again. That's just
yes,
it.
They've
You've got
done
to do
it
it more than once. ESPN analyst and former Alabama quarterback Greg McElroy said on his radio show yesterday that someone very much in the know was pretty adamant that Saban will return to coaching one day. Ole Miss coach and former Alabama offensive coordinator Lane Kiffin later said, quote, "I don't think he's done," close quote. Tone, could you see Nick Saban returning to coaching?
Yeah, so as a former sports writer, I would love to know who Greg McElroy's source is. Could it be Saban himself, since Saban coached him at Alabama? Maybe it's somebody who coached with Saban. Could it be Sarkisian? Could it be Bill Belichick? You know, can I see Saban returning coaching? Of course I can. Bill Belichick is coaching again. Pete Carroll is coaching again. And you're going to say, hold it, hold it, hold it. Nobody wants to coach with the NIL and the transfer portal. And Saban got out because he couldn't control his team the way he used to be able to control his team. Well, things evolved, Mike. I mean, again, look who's coaching. Look what Belichick did. He hired a GM so that he could be shielded from all the transactional stuff. I mean, it seems to me this is going to settle down. It seems to me it's going to be streamlined, the transfer portal and the NIL and all that money. And it seems to me possible that Saban would say, yeah, I've been out 2 years. I'll take another shot at this. And I would list a bunch of names, Mike, in another sport. Mike Krzyzewski, Jim Boeheim, Roy Williams, Tony Bennett, Jay Wright. Is it possible that maybe a couple of them look at it now and say, maybe I was a little too hasty? Because I think it'll settle down and you can go back to coaching.
It's not settled down at all. It's going to be wilder because people are going to offer money outside of whatever the salary cap is. You think the Texas A&M, just to pick a place, you think their oil-rich alums are going to say, yeah, we're going to pay attention to the cap? No, they're not. And Saban's not coming back. And I'm going to go Bill Cowher on you because there are some people who just enjoy their lives. And Saban seems to be one of them. He plays the best golf courses in the world every time he wakes up and wants to do it. I tell you something, Saban would be great. That'd be great at a lot of stuff. How about the czar of college football? Because college football is going to need one. All of college sports needs one. No, he's not coming back because Saban very quickly identified what the problem was going to be, the issues were going to be in college sports. And he got out the next day. He was smarter and quicker than everybody, and he ain't coming back.
I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go the other way, and I'm just going to make it very, very simple here. And he's done great work. He's brilliant in that Verbo commercial, he is. But he's been out 2 years, and this is the life he's always had. And maybe he misses it. Maybe he misses it. Let's move to the NFL, where Philadelphia Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni told NBC Sports in Philadelphia that he totally rejects the notion that last year's Super Bowl winning Eagles carried quarterback Jalen Hurts and that Hurts was just along for the ride, a notion that apparently has found traction in Philadelphia. Sirianni said, quote, "I think that's bull bleep. We're talking about the ultimate team game there is, and he does whatever he needs to do to win every game," unquote. Wilbon, was this something that ever entered your mind?
No, because it's too stupid to enter my mind. And this is what happens when a 17-game season has to be discussed on every network, including this one, for 52 weeks. That means there's 30-plus weeks when it shouldn't be discussed, when there ought to be a moratorium, when people ought to say, let's discuss something else, like golf and tennis and track and field. But no, we're going to just discuss this ad nauseum and propose questions and debates that are stupid and not worth considering. And then we're going to do it tomorrow morning and the next morning and the next morning. And that's all it is fodder for stupid talk.
So I think that, you know, in this particular case, it may have something to do with these rankings of quarterbacks that come out, and you see that Hurts is ranked like 9th or 10th or 11th or something like that.
Just dumb.
I'm one of those people who believe that there are better quarterbacks than Jalen Hurts, but I would be inclined to put Jalen Hurts, as you know, as the MVP ahead of a lot of those guys. Joe Burrow, I think, is a better quarterback. Lamar Jackson, I think, is a better quarterback. Their results are nowhere near Jalen Hurts' results. Jalen Hurts' results are right in front of you. I mean, is there linkage to the fact that Saquon Barkley came to the Eagles and the Eagles won a Super Bowl? Sure, that's possibly true. But Jalen Hurts is out there on every play to make sure Saquon Barkley gets the ball where he needs the ball and make sure that offense is maximized. I'll give you a quarterback, Mike, a comparable quarterback who did not have overwhelming statistics, who had wonderful receivers and had great running backs and won Super Bowls. Bart Starr. And I don't think the Packers could have won without Bart Starr. You know, I think that team was Bart Starr's in the way that the Eagles team is Jalen Hurts's. And like you, I don't know where this comes from. I don't.
It comes from a place of stupid. Because history is littered with guys who did what they were supposed to do. Do your job. As it Parcells or Belichick, I forget which Bill said it. Do your job.
Belichick.
Bob Greasy would never be mentioned with the all-time great Pat. What'd he do? He did what he was supposed to do and did his
2 Super
job
Bowls.
and quarterbacked a great team. And there are people like
That's
that.
right.
And you mentioned Bart Starr. Of course those guys are.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts is every bit of that. And so when I see these rankings, Tony, the rankings have to come out so you can have these stupid discussions.
I will tell you, Mike.
52 weeks a year.
This feels like a creation, and I would give all the credit in the world to Nick Sirianni if he created it just to slam it. Paul George had arthroscopic knee surgery to treat an injury suffered in a recent workout. Your thoughts? I know you love him.
I do. They can't catch a break in Philly or Paul. It's training camp. It's a long season. I hope he can get out there soon when it's time. Trevor Lawrence tells, pardon my take, he really needs to turn it on this season. What are you waiting for? You agree with him?
Yeah, I mean, they redid his contract. They gave him a lot of money. And you loved him more than anybody ever in college.
I
You did, I know that. The Panthers will host your Blackhawks to open the NHL season. I'm sure you're excited.
No, we're not ready for prime time yet. No. The Washington football franchise will retire Art Monk's 81, number 81 jersey this season. Make sense?
Yes. I mean, he was a great receiver on Super Bowl winning teams, yes. Last one, Rays owner Stu Sternberg reportedly selling the team. Your thoughts?
Do you have any thoughts about that franchise? Tampa Bay Times reporting playoff games will be at Steinbrenner's Field. I guess that's a big deal.
We're out of time. We'll try to do better the next time, and I'm Tony Kornheiser.
And I'm Mike Wilbon. Same time tomorrow, knuckleheads. Tony, Theismann and Riggins not retired.